Hey everybody, it's the Prez. It's Thursday. It's puck time. Hockey talk every day at Wager Talk TV. I'm Lawrence Presman, the Prez, owner of Wager Talk Media, co-founder, I should say, with Marco D'Angelo. We got Dave Cokin with us and Alex Smith today, and we're going to take apart 4 games and then get to the last minute of play. Boys, let's start with you, Alex. You were running a little bit late. You texted me telling you it's teriyaki chicken day, and you needed to take that seriously, so you needed a few extra minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of hockey stuff going on. We got World Series. I'm going to be busy, so I want to get a good meal in me. And teriyaki chicken Thursday at my local Chinese place, that's always a big deal. You have to get there early because they only serve it from literally 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then it's gone. So I had to run and grab that and take care of that, and that was awesome. And now I'm here talking to you guys. So
Dave Cokin, how are you, my friend? What's up?
Well, I've got a ticket on the Nationals to sweep the Astros. So
yeah, we spoke about that yesterday, and yeah, we gave out. I gave out Washington again yesterday, 2 in a row. Wow, this team is just unbelievable. But this is not a baseball show. Let's get straight into hockey, and let's start with the first game on the board. The Buffalo Sabres going into New York. They're minus 125 with a total of 6.5. And I played the Rangers a couple of nights ago, and they lost for me in overtime against Arizona. I like the Rangers here again, Alex. They're a short dog, and I think this is a tough spot for Buffalo. So, yeah, I like the Rangers on the money line, and I don't need to take them in regulation.
I mean, it's a little, obviously when Buffalo getting these wins, we were getting them at a pick and price, but now like you said, you're going to be laying a little bit more juice now as they continue to keep winning. I still like Buffalo here. I don't want to run into this buzzsaw. This team's playing some good hockey. Like I said, we saw it last year at the beginning, first half. Buffalo was running through everybody, and then they slowed off later in the year. This Ranger team's got some issues with offense, finding consistency. So a slight lean with Buffalo.
Yeah, and I agree as far as the Rangers offense goes, and it's why I lean on the under. An interesting total because like a game yesterday, you have Buffalo playing to the over and the Rangers to the under. Dave Cokin, what do you think in this game?
I'm not getting in the way of the Sabres again. I took San Jose the other night.
4-3 overtime win.
Well, Sharks are up 2-0 after 1. You got to feel like they're in pretty good shape at that point, and they got in the overtime. The overtime lasted about 4 minutes, and Buffalo had possession of the puck for about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. This team's good. The difference between last year and this year is their lack of experience last year hurt them. Once they completed that tremendous hot streak, they didn't know how to handle a little adversity. I think you're going to see a different story this time around. I think the Sabres are for real. And I'm not predicting that they're going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals or anything like that, but I'd be really surprised at this point if they're not a playoff team. And they're better than the Rangers. So I would look at the Buffalo
and Buffalo's
side.
really fast, too, and Eichel is just playing such good hockey right now. San Jose, we were just talking about them, Dave. They lost 4-3 in overtime to Buffalo. Now they're up the highway playing in Montreal tonight. And the Habs are minus 126 to 130 with a total of 6.5. Alex, I'll go to you first. I'm passing on this hockey game. I have nothing both side or total-wise. What do you like?
Oh, Montreal's last game was just an absolute disaster going back and forth with the Minnesota Wild. They losing that 4-3. Kincaid made some big saves, but when you have a Wild power play, giving you your penalty kill troubles, that's not good. That's not one of the better power plays in the league. So now this is going back home against the San Jose team. Like I said, 2 straight 4-3 losses against Buffalo. I'm sure they're going to be hungry for a win here. I'm going to pass it. I'll definitely be watching it. San Jose, they are 8-0 the last 8 meetings against Montreal. So if I had to play something, I'd look at the Sharks.
Well, Logan Couture wasn't very happy after the loss the other night. I kind of think he was taking a shot at the coaching in some post-game comments. I kind of would like to play San Jose here, but I had this game checked off, but they've decided to go with Aaron Dell in goal tonight, and his first 2 starts this year have not been good. And Aaron Dell on the road has not been good. really since he arrived in the NHL. So that's crossed me off the game. This was a consideration that is now a pass.
Guys, the next game we're going to talk about Arizona versus the New York Islanders. But before we go there, I just want to talk about Ralph Michaels' college basketball. Ralph is by far the best college basketball expert we have. He is literally what Dave Cokin is to college football, Ralph Michaels is to college basketball. It's what he built his reputation on. He used to work for Phil Steele at North Coast, and he's been doing college hoops for 35 years. He puts up ridiculous numbers. We've got a special up for you guys, and it's not going to last. $400 off of his college hoop season. Just head over to wagertalk.com and use the promo code RM400. That's RM400. Alex, Arizona going into New York, playing the Islanders, and I think, and I could be wrong, but I think this is the first 5 we've seen all year as a total. And I understand why. Both teams are gritty. Both teams are defensive-minded. Both teams back-check really well. But I cannot bet a game over under the total of 5. I actually like the Islanders a lot in this spot. They're minus 115 to 120, and I think they're one of the best bets on the board today.
Well, you got an interesting matchup here. It's actually probably going to be one of the better games of the night. You got an Arizona team that's won 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6 against an Islander team that has won 4 in a row. So somebody's got to lose this week. And I'm leaning with Arizona. I've cashed a couple tickets with them so far on this streak, so I'm not going to jump off of it now. I know they've had some rough marks against the Islanders. They've lost 7 of the last 10 meetings, including 6 straight in New York. But this is an Arizona team playing decent hockey. And like I said, they make a mess of things in the neutral zone. They're not going to let the Islanders, who aren't exactly the speediest team in the world, get a lot of space. So I'm going to say.
Dave, what do you like in this game?
The Coyotes know their identity. They're not going to beat teams up and down the ice. They're not a speed team. They have to be tenacious on the back check and not gambling too much on the forecheck. They're a defense-first hockey team. And the Coyotes got off to such an awful start last year because of the injury situation. But if you looked at the last third of the season, they were a good hockey team. They were one of the better teams in the league down the stretch last season. And this season, they've come in and they already caught one bad break as far as an injury goes. But this is still a team that has gotten off to a much better start than in either of the past 2 years. So they're playing with a lot less of a monkey on their back, if you will. The Islanders are just solid. They're extremely well coached. It's a Barry Trotz team, fundamentally strong. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. But you're right. 5.5, you might want to say, okay, let's take a shot with the under 5. It's really tough. I lean to the Islanders. Coyotes have been on the road for a little bit, and maybe the Islanders could be the fresher team here, but probably not enough to it's not enough for me to generate a play on this, but I would lean Islanders.
Edmonton hosting Washington. Edmonton's coming back from a road trip, and I think they've scored 1 goal in 2 games. They've really slowed down, coming back to earth. Washington finds themselves at minus 130. The total is 6, and I like the over in this game, Alex. Both these teams can score, and I'm surprised it's not a 6.5. I understand Edmonton has hit the skid scoring-wise, but they are coming home, and I think that'll give them a bit of a jolt of energy. I think this game is going to get to the 7-8 goal mark.
Yeah, I can see that, but I like the Washington side a bit more. They're starting to roll here, winning 4 straight, and this is the after this, they still continue to be on the road, and that trip will get a little bit dicey. So I think this will probably be the last time to back Washington on this road trip, and then maybe look to fade them moving forward as that trip lingers on. But like I said, Edmonton coming back home off back-to-back shutouts. Obviously, they want to get that offense rolling quickly, so I'll lean with the over, but I like the Capitals a little more here.
Well, the Capitals they're on fire. John Carlson is doing a Bobby Orr impression out there. He has been absolutely incredible.
We like to call it a Morgan Riley impression.
Well, okay, I go back to Bobby Orr. And nobody can really do Bobby Orr, but he's doing a pretty good likeness of it right now. Ovechkin's on a scoring streak. I think he scored in 7 or 8 games in a row. The goaltending has come around. Edmonton is off a couple of rough games, but they were the tail end of a road trip, and they have been very potent at home. So I think your over is something that I would consider here. I think it's a tough call on the side, but no disagreement with the over,
Dave.
Prez.
Gentlemen, it's the last minute of play. Well, let's take apart the rest of the games, and we'll do it really fast, 10, 15 seconds each. Carolina minus 120 going into Columbus with a total of 6. I like the under. Alex?
Yeah, I like the under as well, and would also look with Carolina's Columbus team starting to unravel a bit as I expected. They did get the 4-3 win against Toronto, but that was a sandwich spot against the Leafs. I'd go with Carolina here.
This Carolina team's legit. I mean, they're 6-3, and they look solid at both ends of the ice. I think this team's going to be playing deep into the playoffs. They've got a shot to be if you're looking for a live future at a pretty good price, you could do worse than Carolina. Tortorella's a great coach. He really is. I mean, the guy's a walking soundbite, and he gets kind of ridiculed at times for that. But this is kind of his type of team. It's not the most talented squad in the world, but it's a gritty squad. And I think he's going to get more than most people expect out of Columbus. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they're going to be a handful. Not really anxious to lay prices against them at home.
Minnesota going into Nashville, 6. Nashville minus 175. And I like the under in this game, and I also strangely like Nashville to win on the puck line. I think this game has 3-1, 4-1 written all over it. I think for Minnesota to win, they're going to have to keep these as low-scoring games. Nashville just put up a bunch against Anaheim. I think this game's going to go under, and I like Nashville to win by 2. Alex?
Like Nashville on the puck line, no way I'm taking Nashville under right now. They're an over machine,
Yeah,
especially now playing a wild team. Devin Dubnyk
they went
out.
under once this whole year. I was on the over in that game.
Yeah, I mean, and that'll happen sometimes with these streaks, but you got Devin Dubnyk out indefinitely with what they're saying could be possibly a concussion. They just said upper body injury for now. Alex Stalock's the guy they're going to be rolling with. Nashville puck line. And
Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, Minnesota got their power play rolling in the last 2 games. They were 3 for 25, and then in the last 2 games, they've scored 3 power play goals. So when a team is clicking on special teams, you don't want to play under because, there's a decent chance they're going to get a goal, maybe even 2 on their power plays. Stalock's a weak goaltender. Nashville's scoring a lot of goals. Looks like a high-scoring game.
Los Angeles Kings going into St. Louis, 5.5. St. Louis minus 175. I like the puck line with St. Louis. I think this is a real bad spot for the LA Kings. I can see a 3-4-5-0 blowout. That's where I'm going, Alex.
Well, I'm going with the first period over here. That's what I've been rolling with the LA Kings, 7-2 last 9 games, and you got St. Louis 4-1 at home in the first period over in their first 5. Getting off that win against Colorado, finally ending that losing streak. I can see St. Louis winning this one as well.
I disagree. Look, the Kings have got something going right now. They've still got some players from the Cup teams, and they put some talent around them and quick for whatever reason. I don't know if he's starting tonight. I haven't checked the goaltenders in that game, but his last 2 games, he's looked like the old Jonathan Quick rather than old Jonathan Quick. The Blues are off what I thought was a really big game win for them against Colorado. They were fired up for that game. They played probably their best game of the season. I can see a letdown against the Kings, and I'm telling you what, the Kings were really good at Winnipeg the other night in getting that victory. They dominated that. They dominated that game.
But that's also a bad Winnipeg team
with no defense
at
all.
But the thing is, the Kings are Winnipeg stinks right now. I have a future on Winnipeg to not make the playoffs. I like that play a lot. The Kings are feeling it right now. I just don't want to lay a big price into this team right now. I'm not saying St. Louis can't go in and kill them tonight, but I got to wait for reality to set in for the Kings before I start considering laying a big price.
Anaheim on the road playing Dallas, and another 5 on the board on the total. Dallas minus 140. I like Dallas flat out in this game, I think Anaheim is coming back down to earth. Alex?
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Dallas. And I would look at the under here in this one with a 5. You got Gibson going against Bishop. It could be the first team to get 2 goals wins.
Bishop hasn't been sharp though. That's the worry I've got. He's not off to a good start. Khudobin was fine the other night, and they just killed Ottawa. Now that doesn't mean a whole lot because Ottawa sucks, but Dallas has some positive momentum now. But they're still not putting the puck in the back of the net. And I'm waiting for the offense to really show some explosion. I think Dallas wins. Won't make my card.
Bishop is 8-2-2 against Anaheim in his career with a 1.7 goals against.
But none of that matters if he's not.
I'm just saying, if he wants to bounce back, this would be a good spot for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, see, I'm not. We talk about this all the time on doing college football stuff. I'm not a big history buff. I don't think what happened in the past has a lot to do with what's going to happen in the future. And Ben Bishop just isn't sharp right now. Gibson is always sharp for the Ducks. So I can see the under, but I'd be a little bit concerned about
Chicago minus 114 hosting Philadelphia, total of 6.5. I like Chicago. I like the over. Alex?
Yeah, if they're going to get a win on this, what has been a miserable homestand, it's got to be tonight against the Philly team. We've seen Philly struggle a bit other than getting that win against Vegas. Which, of course, that was Oscar Dance playing horrible in that second period. So I lean with the Hawks here. They desperately need a win
Dave?
tonight. So.
Yeah, I agree. Chicago's off. I mean, they end up with a shootout loss, but they were really good against the Golden Knights. And, they ran into Fleury, and Fleury's just making saves that are they're just ridiculous. One side of the crease to the other. I mean, he's just spectacular. But Chicago played a really good hockey game against a team coming off a very bad game. So you figured to get a good performance out of the Golden Knights, and the Blackhawks outplayed them in that game. The Philadelphia team, they have been struggling, Alex. You're right. And they just caught the Golden Knights in a terrible flat spot, coming off the big win at Pittsburgh, going with Dansk, who was absolutely brutal, and they took advantage of it. The Golden Knights were a no-show. So I don't put too much into that Flyers win. And I actually give a check mark to the Blackhawks off a very good performance against the Golden Knights. I like Chicago.
Calgary, minus 127 against Florida. Total is 6. I love the over in this game, Alex.
Yeah, I agree with you there, too. I mean, Florida, they're trying to get things rolling defensively, but it just hasn't really worked out. Nice win for them against Pittsburgh, though. But now they got to take on a Calgary team that they finding some inconsistency a little bit offensively, but I could see this being a higher scoring game and looking at the over.
Not much. Calgary has not played well. They appear to have a playoff hangover from the disappointment of last year where they're in great position to get to the finals and let it get away. Florida, it's interesting on the Panthers. Barkov still hasn't scored a goal. How long is that going to last? I mean, this guy's a deadly shooter. I can see some goals in this one.
He's Alex B. Smith. You can find him at sportsmemo.com. Obviously, Dave Cokin, an utter legend in this industry. You can find him at wagertalk.com. Guys, thanks so much for watching Puck Time. Like always, make sure to comment and like the video. I will get back to you in comments. Also, as some of you guys know, I'm in a horrific, nightmarish slump. My utter and sincere, humble apologies to anyone who's playing my plays. Nobody takes this worse than me. It happens to all of us. When you do this for 30 years, you're going to have periods of hell. And I'm in one now. Make sure to check out Ralph Michaels' college basketball season. $400 off.
Yeah,
use the promo code RM400. You probably will make more money on his college basketball season than on anybody's in any sport. Gentlemen, thanks for doing the show with me. Alex, we'll see you and Andrew tomorrow. Be well, everybody.